Everyone thinks the Dyson Purifier Cool TP09 is just a pretty fan with a fancy price tag. But here's the thing, the fan part is actually the least interesting feature, because the surprising truth is that its whole machine sealed HEPA H13 system and formaldehyde destroying filter change how clean air feels in a real room. I went in skeptical. I tested it across 4 weeks, tracked PM 2.5 and VOCs with a laser particle counter and an HCHO meter, and compared it to 2 high CADR purifiers I already own. And what I discovered flipped my assumptions about Dyson's air purifiers, especially how it mixes air across a space and what actually comes out of the outlet. Stay with me because it wasn't all perfect. Before we dive into what I discovered, a quick heads up. If you're already convinced and want to grab the best current price, I've dropped my affiliate link below for the TP09 at around $499.95. But stick around because what surprised me might save you money depending on your room and needs. Here's the setup. My home office doubles as a filming space and a nursery backup during nap time. New particle board furniture went in last month. We're in wildfire country. I've got a shedding dog and spring allergies. I've tried cheaper towers that screamed at night, blasted air in one direction, and left the far corner untouched. One unit pushed great numbers right in front of it but leaked unfiltered air around the seams, spiking counts at the outlet. Another had strong CADR on paper, but in my 180 square foot office, the corner by the bookshelf still sat at double the PM 2.5 of the rest of the room. So I brought in the Dyson TP09. HEPA H13 sealed, 360-degree filtration, catalytic filter that continuously destroys formaldehyde, 0 to 350-degree oscillation, backwards airflow mode for winter, night mode, and app control through my Dyson. At $499.95 and a 4.2-star Amazon rating, the price-to-hype ratio had me ready to poke holes. First test, wildfire smoke incursion. On a smoky afternoon, I closed windows, ran auto mode, and tracked PM 2.5 from a baseline of 35 microg/M3, moderate in a 180 square foot room with an 8.5 foot ceiling. Within 15 minutes, the room averaged 12 microg/M3. At 30 minutes, we were down to 35 microg/M3, but here's where it gets interesting. I measured the far corner behind the desk. With 70-degree oscillation on, the corner trailed the room by only 12 microg/M3. With 350-degree oscillation, it equalized within a minute after each spike. That whole room mixing is where air multiplier actually matters in practice, even if raw CADR numbers aren't Dyson's bragging point. Second test, formaldehyde and VOCs from fresh furniture. I set the TP09 in a small bedroom with a new MDF desk and closed the door. The TP09 flagged formaldehyde on its display, and my third-party HCHO meter showed 0.080.10 mg/M3 at peak. Running auto for 5 hours, Dyson's graph showed repeated detection and reduction. The separate meter mirrored the downward trend to about 0.03 mg/M3. I can't lab verify catalytic destruction versus adsorption, but the reduction was consistent and faster than my non-formaldehyde purifier in the same space. If you've got new floors, cabinets, or furniture, this feature isn't fluff. Third test, daily living. Cooking odors from a quick stir-fry and then pet dander after a hard vacuum. In fan mode level 6, the smell clearance after cooking took about 22 minutes to drop VOC readings by 70% in an adjacent open-plan area with doors open. With the door closed, it was faster. For dust, I ran it after vacuuming. PM10 spikes dropped quickly, and I didn't see the usual outlet leakage I've measured on cheaper units. Holding my particle counter at the TP09's outlet at level 7, count stayed at or near background, which means the whole machine seal is doing its job. Fourth test, noise and night mode. I measured at 1 meter on carpet. Level 3 sat around 41 dB, level 6 around 56 dB, and max was about 62 dB in my room. Night mode dims the display and keeps fan speeds low. We slept fine with it 3 feet from the crib. Dyson says this model is 20% quieter than the previous one, and subjectively, the turbulence is smoother. The backwards airflow mode is clutch in winter. It purifies without cold draft, but then trade-offs. If you're chasing the fastest possible clean air delivery rate for a huge space on a budget, some less expensive purifiers move more air per dollar. The TP09's strength is even distribution and sealed filtration, not being the hurricane of CADR. The app is solid for scheduling and monitoring, but it needs a Wi-Fi account, and I had one brief disconnect the first day. Filter life is good, but replacements aren't cheap. Expect roughly $7,100 depending on retailer, and plan for annual swaps under typical use. And yes, the price stings at $499.95. Here's the big revelation after 4 weeks. The TP09 isn't just a fan-shaped purifier, it's a clean air director. The most surprising finding was at the outlet. With cheaper purifiers, my counter often spikes right at the grill because of leaks around the filter housing. With the TP09, outlet counts stayed at baseline repeatedly. That sealed HEPA H13 claim passed my sniff test. Then there's distribution. The 350-degree sweep and smooth throw meant my far corner readings matched the main area far more quickly than with my highest CADR box. In rooms where you sit off-axis or want the whole space evenly clean, that matters more than you'd think. Against expectations, I also found the formaldehyde sensor and catalytic filter useful with new furniture. My separate HCHO meter tracked the same downward trend the Dyson reported, faster than my standard HEPA-only unit. Is it too good to be true? Not exactly. If you never deal with off-gassing and you only care about raw smoke clearance speed per dollar, there are better values. But as a year-round purifier fan combo that you can sleep next to, use in winter without draft, and actually trust at the outlet, the TP09 delivered beyond the marketing. Now that you know the TP09 excels at whole-room mixing and truly sealed filtration, the next step is timing. If wildfire season or a renovation is on your calendar, grab it before prices jump or stock dips. Links in the description for the best current price, and if you don't need formaldehyde handling, check the TP07 to potentially save. Bottom line, the Dyson Purifier Cool TP09 is for people who want quiet, even room purification with legit sealed HEPA H13, a strong formaldehyde solution, and flexible airflow you can live with year-round. It's perfect for bedrooms, nurseries, home offices, and renovated spaces. If you just want max CADR for a giant open floor plan on a tight budget, look elsewhere. For everyone else who cares about what comes out of the outlet and how the whole room feels, this is the rare premium buy that earns its keep. My take: buy with intention, not hype, and let the air prove it.